ओमज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिधि नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे प्रमाणि प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे कृष्ण। Somebody like to recollect last class?
Hey, Prabhuji, should I try?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So, Jiva Goswami concludes series of Brahmaji's prayers, Srimad Bhagavatam 10.14.22. Tasmadidam jagadashesham asat swarupam swapnabhamastadishanam purudukha dukkam tvayeva nitya sukhabodha tanavavante mayata udyadapi yat sadibhava bhati. So what is a meter? How do you sing this shloka?
अस्मादिदं जगदशेषमसत्स्वरूपम् स्वप्नाभमस्तदृशणम् पुरुदुःखदुःखम् त्वय्येव नित्यसुखबोधतनावनन्ते मायात उद्यदपि यत् सदिवाव भाति।
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. So, therefore, this entire universe, which is Asat Swarupam, which is insubstantial, like a dream, which covers consciousness, which is full of abundant and endless misery. Three characteristics of universe: Asat Swarupam, which is insubstantial, like a dream; Asat Dhishanam, covers the consciousness; Purudukha Dukkham, abundant and endless misery. This universe arises out of Maya potency of the Lord. Actually, it is Asat Swarupam, but it appears as real. Sat. How does it appear as real? What is the reason for it? Tvayi eva. Because it is situated in you. And what is it so special about the Lord that the insubstantial universe appears real? Nitya Sukhabodha Tanavavante. Lord has a body which is limitless, possesses a body which is eternal, full of knowledge, full of consciousness, bliss. Because the universe is situated in the Supreme Lord and is arising from Maya potency of the Lord, so the universe appears real, whereas in reality, this universe is Asat Swarupam, Masat Dhishanam, and Purudukha Dukkham. So in this anuccheda, Jiva Goswami is concluding the topic of simultaneous all-pervasiveness and apparent limitedness of Krishna's body based on Brahmaji's prayers. Jiva Goswami explains that though Bhagavan has achintya shakti, although his body is one, same body contains innumerable forms. In the last verse of this achintya shakti, this endlessly mutable material world has the appearance of being eternal. Therefore, he starts the verse by saying, Tasmadidam Jagada Esham. Jagada Shesha. Yeah. Previously, three qualities of universe is mentioned. Temporary
Jagad
okay. Okay, Jagad Ashesham. Okay, so three qualities of universe is mentioned: temporary, devoid of consciousness, and full of misery. And then exactly opposite are the three words which is defined to Bhagwan's body, that is full of eternity, full of knowledge, bodha, and full of bliss. Okay, one may ask a question: how is it possible? Because usually the effect depends on the cause. The universe emanates from the Lord. The Lord is having these characteristics. Nitya Sukhabodh. How is it that the universe is having exactly opposite quality? Because he's material and efficient cause of the universe. So can he produce something of different characteristics? So Lord has a nature of Satchidananda. And how can universe be Asat, Achit, Nirananda? And when we speak of any material cause, the raw material cause undergoes certain transformation in order to produce something. So is this also the case? The Lord produces the universe. Does he also undergo transformation? Brahma says Krishna is Achinta Shakti. Mayat Udya, Udyatta. Is it pronounced properly? Mayat Udyatta. Is there any word like this? I don't know how I wrote.
Mayata Mayata
Huh.
Udyadapiyat.
Yeah. So although material world emanates from the Lord and exists in the Lord and dissolves in the Lord, but the characteristics of material world is different from him. Material world exists from Supreme Lord, and the Lord does not undergo any transformation. So you all yourself give example of touchstone, then Kalpataru tree. We discussed that in detail how Bhagwan has inconceivable power and can perform acts which are impossible. He does not undergo transformation. From his energies, material world is created, maintained, and destroyed. And then you spoke about how Maya potency makes the material world appear as a source of pleasure. There is no absolute happiness in the material world, and how happiness is very relative. Lots of example was spoken about this. And one example, when a yogi sees a beautiful woman which is made up of um, a beautiful woman whose body is made up of pus, urine, stool. A young man sees that same woman as a desirable object, and the dog sees as a prey, a piece of meat. So very difficult to discern where the happiness lies. So there is no happiness in this inner, temporary, miserable material world. So if you just, I know this is not right context, but when I was just hearing this, I was just thinking was how Arjuna, he perceived the battlefield as compassion, how Dhritarashtra, he perceives the battlefield as as out of fear, and Duryodhan out of insecurity. I was just trying to connect this with Bhagavad Gita. The same object induces happiness, misery, anger in different people. So how can one categorically determine the nature of an object? So you discussed a lot about this, how feelings of happiness are simply mental states, and Patanjali Yoga Sutras, what they speak about, how for a discriminating person, everything is misery, the mental state, which is called vritti. When we go through different experiences in our lifetime, all the experiences are stored in the mind called vritti. And when we identify with the mind, the different vritti, the mental state impressions of the mind, then we will feel happy or miserable. So this is based on our identification with those mental vritti. So then after that, we spoke a lot about person's karma, how the person's karma, they create the opportunities to contact with material objects or to get disconnected from material objects, and these opportunities are result from karma. So very much in detail you spoke about this Gyan Chakshu. He's that Gyan Chakshu 2.50 Bhagavad Gita, what impact this Gyan Chakshu can do to an individual and how he can respond to the external situation. So that was also spoken very nicely, quite a bit was spoken about it. And then how material world is compared to the dream. Some of the philosophers, Adhyatavadi, what they say about the material world, that it is dream, unreal, illusory. Dream has no factual existence because nobody experiences a dream while in a awake state. Then, but Brahmaji differs from this. He does not accept that material world is unreal. He does not consider material world to be imaginary. In the word asat swarupam, asat does not mean mithya. Asat, it does not, it means transient. Material world is temporary. So then what does Baldev Vidya Bhushan say about it? You have spoken about Vyasdev. What he says, according to Vyasdev, the Supreme Lord actually generates the objects in the dream state. And the objects in the dream state are real, but they differ in the sense that the Lord creates these objects in a dream for a temporary purpose, for a particular living entity. So again, you discussed a lot the reason why dreams are called real, because the dreams are creation of Lord's Maya potency. Therefore, it cannot be called as mithya. Also, dreams are also called real because many times these dreams, they can indicate pending events which will be happening in the near future. And yourself quoted about Kansa. Then lots of other example you spoke about. Dreams are also one enjoys and suffers the reactions of one's bad karma. Then Manu Samhita, the quotes on law of karma, how embodied beings experiences the reactions of their positive and negative mental acts through the mind, and experiences the reaction of positive and negative physical acts through the body, and they experience the result of their positive and negative vocal acts through the organ of speech. So how the Lord allocates the result of karma during our waking and dreaming state, that was discussed a lot. And how a certain portion of our karma is allocated to experience in waking state, and certain portion of our karma is allocated to experience during the dream state. So every physical action is preceded by a mental action. And then yourself spoke about how the dreams which I experience are not in the sequential order. Before that, you spoke about Gnan, Ichcha, Kruti. Then what Narad Muni's instructions to Prachini Bharishat, that was spoken in detail. Then this of statement, Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya, wrong understanding that material world is illusory, it is false. But the right understanding is that if you view the material world independent of Brahman Bhagavan, then that is what is mithya. This is illusion. Material world is real, but because it is a product of Lord's inferior potency. If you view material world without the existence of Lord, without the foundation of the Lord, then material world will not have any meaning, like the horns of the rabbit. You spoke about this meaningless statement. That was in detail, that was spoken. So material world is a creation of the Lord, so it is real. Then three states, Jagriti, Shushupti, Swapna, that was discussed in detail. 42nd anuccheda. In this way, it has been established that the Lord's medium-sized body is all-pervading, sarva adharatva, by showing that how it is a support of everything. Shloka 10.69, all-pervading features will be demonstrated by exhibiting its quality of God, of being present everywhere, sarva gatatva. So Srimad Bhagavatam 10.69, how Narad Muni goes to different palaces, Krishna's palaces in Dwarka. We see that Krishna is in different palaces with his queens, and a lot of doubts and questions and answers were being spoken about in this. Very elaborately you discussed. Then just to summarize, in 10.16, Krishna did not expand into different forms. Many yogis can also accomplish that. They can expand into Kava Vyuha forms and simultaneously marry many. So with Krishna, there is a difference over here. Narad Muni himself has many yogic powers. So he was not astonished to see that Krishna expanded into many forms. That is not the reason for Narad Muni's astonishment. The reason for Narad Muni's astonishment is that Krishna is in the same form. He simultaneously married all of them in that same very body. Krishna did not expand into many bodies. That is that Kavya Vyuha. Rather, he married all of them in the same body, and that is what is called as Prakash, manifestation of the Lord. Chitram Bhateta Ekan Ekena Vapusha. Not by expanding in single body. Krishna has been able to separately marry 16,000 queens simultaneously. And this is not possible for any yogi. This is the uniqueness of Lord Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Devika. Raised 41st anuccheda and also part of 22nd. So we'll go ahead. 42nd anuccheda. We discussed almost most of the part. Some part is remaining. So in this particular anuccheda, 42nd anuccheda, how Krishna's form can manifest in innumerable places simultaneously. That is what is being described. So different people get astonished in their life by different things. For example, in our own life, in the childhood, we may get astonished by certain things. For example, when the child first time sees an elephant, the child gets astonished. South India, many temples was in Sri Rangam last 2 days. So in childhood, whenever we go to temples, one of the favorite thing which we'll look forward is give 10 paise to the elephant and the elephant will give Ashirwad, put its trunk on your head. That is one of the favorite thing we would actually look forward when you go to a temple. So give some banana and then elephant gives some Ashirwad. At that time, childhood, it was 10 paise used to be 10 paise. So different times in our life, different people get astonished by different things. Now also elephant is there, but it's not you get astonished. Yeah. To look elephant is something good, but it's not that we're looking forward to getting the costume. And here for Narada Muni to get astonished. In this world, people can get astonished by somebody's yogic powers, somebody getting some bringing out some ash or bringing some um, particular fruit from Afghanistan, like that. We get astonished. But Narada Muni himself had many yogic powers and he had seen many yogis. So he got astonished by seeing Krishna in different palaces. So he definitely would not have got astonished simply by seeing the yogic powers which he himself had and he had seen in many of. So these yogic powers, many yogis by their yogic powers expand into kaya vyuha forms. But here, what Narada Muni saw in Krishna is not simply some kaya vyuha forms. And Krishna expanded into many forms. When the yogis expand into many forms, those forms are not independent. They cannot act independently. But the forms Krishna manifested, Krishna was in one form, he was simultaneously present everywhere. So that is what you will see this. Tarhi katam aneka bahvadikena vyapakena ekena vapusha tat kritavan ma evam. How did Tarhi katam? How did Krishna perform this act? Was it in one form with many hands and legs that was expanded through all the 16,000 houses? Ma evam. No, don't think like that. According to Uddhava, Asam muhurta ekasmin nana gareshu yoshitam savidam jagrhe pani nanurupasva mayaya iti Srimad Uddhava Vakyadau tattad anurupata prasiddhehe ityabhipretya पूर्वेणैकपदोपन्यासेन परिहरति पृथगिति एकेन नराकारेण वपुषा पृथक्त्वेन दृश्यमानस्तथा विहितवान् तस्माद् एकमेव नरवपुर्यतो युगपत् सर्वदेशं सर्वक्रियां च व्याप्नोति तस्मान् महद आश्चर्यमिति वाक्यार्थः. So with this intent in mind, Narada dispels all the possibility of doubt or of an antithetical interpretation by a single word placed in the first half of the verse, that is Prutak. So in the 10.69.2, Chitram Bataida Dekena Vapusha Yugapat Prutak. Krishna alone in a single body married separately 16,000 wives, each in their individual palaces and do so simultaneously. So, different or separately, Krishna married 16,000 wives. Krishna underwent the wedding ceremony in just one human-like form, Ekena Vapusha, but which was seen differently at different places. Sarva Desham, Sarva Kriyam Cha. Thus, the greatest cause for astonishment for Narada was that this one human-like form was present simultaneously in all these different palaces and in all the actions. Sarva Desham, Sarva Kriyam. This is the literal meaning of the verse. So we see, according to Uddhava's statement also, Asam Muhurta Ekasmin, having manifested by his internal potency, Swa Mayaya, an equal number of forms, matching those of the princesses. You see, the word Anurupaha is mentioned. Anurupaha means matching those of the princesses. Krishna married them with the appropriate rituals at one and the same auspicious time. Ekasmin Muhurte, although in different palaces. Ekasmin Muhurte, he married at one and the same auspicious time, although in different palaces. So here, one important word here is that Swa Mayaya. Krishna manifested these forms by his Yoga Maya. But in this world, when the yogis actually expand into different forms, they don't expand into different forms by the Yoga Maya potency of the Lord. The Yoga Maya potency belongs to the Chit Shakti, the Swarupa Shakti of the Lord. But when the yogis manifest different forms, they are not independent and they are not manifested by the Yoga Maya potency, they are manifested by their yogic powers. Ittameva Panchame Loka Adhishtatuhu. From the 5th canto, another thing is quoted. Panchame Loka Adhishtatuhu. Shri Bhagavat Vigrahasya Tesham Ityadi Gadyopadishtasya Tadrishatvam Vyakhyatam Shri Swami Charanaihi Mahavibhute Paramaishwaryasya Patitvad Ekayaiva Murtya Samantadaste. So in the 5th canto, from the prose section, Gadya means the prose section. While commenting on a prose passage from the 5th canto, Loka Adhishtatuhu, describing the form of the Lord, who is the Loka Adhishtata, the presiding deity of all the planets. Sridhar Swami, in his commentary, he speaks this verse. So Sridhar Swami says that Mahavibhute Paramaishwaryasya Patitvad Ekaya Eva Murtya Samantadaste. Because he is the master of all the supreme opulence, he pervades everything with just one form. Ekaya Eva Murtya. With just one form, Samantad Aste. He pervades everything with just one form. Mahavibhute Parameshwarasya, because he is the master of all the supreme opulence. So Shukdev Goswami states, again from the 69th chapter, Ato muhurta ekasmin नानागारेषु तास्त्रियः यथोपये मे भगवान् तावद् रूपधरो व्ययः. Then assuming as many forms as there were brides, Bhagavan Sri Krishna married all the princesses at the same auspicious moment, each in her own palace. The similar meaning as the Uddhava's verse from the third canto. Iti atra api अतः तावद् रूपत्वं नाम युगपत् तावत् प्रदेश प्रकाशत्वमेव इति व्याख्येयम् न तु नारायणादिवत् भिन्न आकारत्वं यथोक्तम् श्री संक्षेप भागवतामृतम्. संक्षेप भागवतामृतम् refers to Laghu Bhagavatamrita of Rupa Goswami. From that, Jiva Goswami quotes a passage. Therefore, the phrase assuming as many forms as there were brides, Tavat Rupadara. The Tavat Rupadara, this phrase, where did it come? This phrase, this phrase came in Sridhar Swami's commentary. No, not Sridhar Swami's commentary. In the 10.59.42, the verse which is quoted, Yatopayeme Bhagavan Thavat Rupadaro Vyaha. The phrase Tavat Rupadara means assuming as many forms as there were brides. It should be understood to mean that Krishna manifested Prakasha, his one form, simultaneously in all those palaces. It does not mean that he expanded himself into different looking forms, such as those of Narayana and others. It's not that he expanded into different looking forms, such as Narayana, those of Narayana and others. So, what is the definition of Prakasha? It is defined in the Laghu Bhagavatamrita. Anekatra prakatata rupasyaikasya yaikada sarvatha tat swarupaiva saprakashayitiriyate. The appearance of a single form in many places at the same time, but which is in all respects the same essential form of the Lord. Tat swarupaiva sa prakasha itiriyate. That is called prakasha. So the prakasha is defined as, you see, the appearance of a single form in many places at the same time, but which is in all respects same as the swarupa of the Lord. That is called prakasha. Swarupa means here the Swayam Rupa form. So, in the Laghu Bhagavatamrita, Rupa Goswami gives analysis of the various manifestations of the Lord. He says there are three types of manifestations of the Lord: Swayam Rupa, Tad Ekatma Rupa, and Avesha Rupa. Swayam Rupa is the original form of Krishna, which does not depend on any other form. So in this Swayam Rupa, sometimes Krishna may manifest to two hands, or sometimes he may manifest to four arms. But it's a Swayam Rupa form. So the form, and what is Tadekatma Rupa? Tadekatma Rupa is the form that is non-different in nature from the original form, but appears differently owing to the personality and the pastimes, that is called Tadekatma Rupa. Is non-different in nature from the Swayam Rupa, but appears differently. That is Tadekatma Rupa. Tadekatma Rupa is divided into Vilasa and Swamsha. So the Vilasa forms of Tadekatma Rupa is example is Narayana in Vaikuntha. So the example for Swamsha forms is like Matsya, Kurma, etc. So if you see whether you see Narayana form, Matsya, Kurma, they are non-different in nature from the Swayam Rupa, but they are definitely appear differently because of the personality and the pastimes. The personality of Narayana is different from the personality of Krishna. Narayana has only 60 qualities. So these are different from the original form of Sri Krishna in appearance. And then there is Avesha Rupa. When the Lord empowers a particular entity with knowledge or bhakti, those individuals are called Avesha Rupa. So for example, Narada was empowered with the power to propagate bhakti. Sanaka was empowered with the power to propagate jnana, the four Kumaras. So of these actually, so we saw Swayam Rupa, Tad Ekatma Rupa and Avesha Rupa. But what is Prakasha manifestations of the Lord? Prakasha manifestations are identical with Swayam Rupa. They are identical with Swayam Rupa, and the Prakasha manifestations are simultaneously present in different places at the same time, and they are identical with the Swayam Rupa forms. And Narada Muni saw these Prakasha manifestations of the Lord. So Krishna manifested the Swayam Rupa, the Prakasha manifestations in Rasa Leela, when he played Rasa Leela with the gopis, and also when he married 16,108 queens. These are examples of Prakasha. So although these forms, although Narada Muni saw in different palaces Krishna performing different activity, each palace, Narada Muni went to all the palaces, Krishna performed different activities, but they are all one. They are all the same Swayam Rupa. And sometimes Krishna may manifest a four-handed form. For example, when Krishna teased Rukmini, Rukmini almost became unconscious. So Krishna manifested four arms. With the two arms, he wiped Rukmini's tears, and with the two arms, he was holding Rukmini. And also in the first canto, 7th chapter, in the punishment of Ashwatthama, there also, I think Krishna manifested four arms. The two arms Krishna was pacifying or wiping Draupadi's tears, and also with the two arms he was trying to pacify Bhima or something. I have to exactly check in the chapter. That is also, although Krishna manifested four arms, that four-armed form of Krishna is Swayam Rupa. But the Narayana forms in Vaikuntha, the Matsya, Kurma, they come under the category of Tad Ekatma Rupa. Because Tad Ekatma Rupa forms are not identical with the Swayam Rupa. So Narada Muni was astonished by seeing the Prakasha manifestations of Krishna. And these Prakasha manifestation, Krishna simultaneously at the same time he manifested his Swayam Rupa forms at different places. So this is the 42nd Anuccheda. Let's go to the 43rd Anuccheda. So Sri Krishna is the Paramatma. Tata eva aha. Shukadeva Goswami made a similar statement. Ityacharantam saddharman pavanan grihamhedinam tameva sarvageheshu santamekam dadarshah. In this way, it is said that Devarshi Narada saw the same Sri Krishna present in every palace, executing the Saddharman, Grihamedinan Saddharman, executing the eternal religious duties meant for the purification of the married couples. Saddharman, Pavanan, Grihamedina. So Narada Muni saw that actually Krishna performing the different duties of a household grihastha in different palaces. If you read that chapter, it is a wonderful chapter how Krishna is setting the right example as a household. Sarva geheshu tameva natu tasya amshan. So Narada Muni directly saw Krishna, not his plenary expansions, natu tasya amshan. Sarva geheshu, in every one of the palaces. Ekameva santam natu kaya vyuhena bahurupam ekam santam bahuda drishyamanam iti shrutehe. He was in one form, ekameva santam. It is not in many forms expanded by the kaya vyuha. So Vedas also, Shrutis also state that being one, ekam santam bahuda drishyamanam, he appears as many. Nachantarna bahiryasya ityadina vibhutva siddhescha. Vibhutva siddhescha. So his all pervasiveness, it was earlier proven by the statement na chantar na bahiryasya, of neither inside nor outside. Dadar ha, in this verse, santamekam dadarsha ha, the last word is ha. Ha sputameva, the word ha, the indeclinable ha, means that Narada Muni saw him clearly. He saw him clearly. Sputameva. You see, I think this word also. Uktva tushnim babuvaha. Second chapter Bhagavad Gita, I think 9th or 10th verse. Arjuna having spoken thus, Uktva tushnim babuvaha. He became silent. There also the indeclinable ha is used. Ha means Narada saw him clearly. Sputameva. Dadarsha Bhagavat Datta Shaktya Sakshadeva Anubhutavan Natu Kevalam Anumitavan Narada iti Sheshaha. So Narada, although Narada's it is not that the form of the Lord was inferred by Narada. It's not that he did some inference of the form. No, Sakshat Deva Anubhutavan. Narada directly experienced seeing him with the power bestowed upon him by the Lord. Bhagavat Datta Shaktya, because he was empowered by the Lord. So, although Narada's name is not directly mentioned in this verse, it should be understood that he is the subject. Narada iti Sheshaha. So, Narada only is the subject of this, of the verb Dadarsha. Dadarsha, who is the subject? Sometimes the subject is not mentioned, but it is Narada is the subject because we can take the subject from the previous shloka. Atayeva, Shukadeva Goswami further states, the next shloka, text 10.69.42. Krishnasyananta viryasya yogamaya mahodayam muhur drishtva drishirabudh vismito jata kautukah. his curiosity aroused. The sage, Jata Kautukaha, his curiosity aroused. And the sage gazed repeatedly, Muhuru Drishtva, and was filled with wonder, Vismito, at this extraordinary display of Yogamaya potency, Yogamaya Mahodayam, which is Krishnasya Ananta Viryasya, inhering in Sri Krishna, whose prowess is infinite. So this is again it is mentioned that how Narada Muni became astonished by the extraordinary display of the Yogamaya potency. So here Jiva Goswami comments on the word Yogamaya. Tatracha Yogamaya. Yogamaya means what? Durgata Gatani Chit Shaktihi. Yogamaya is the Chit Shakti of the Lord. This is not the usual yogic Shakti which even the ordinary yogis of this world can display, by which they expand into the different Kaya Vyuha forms. But these forms manifested by Krishna, they are manifested by the Chit Shakti of the Lord, Yogamaya. And Yogamaya makes the impossible into possible. Durgata Gatani. Durgata Gatani means Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Continue, Prabhu. Sorry, Prabhu.
So Durgata Gatani. So the yogic ability to Durgata Gatani Chit Shakti. Tritiye Sanakadina Vaikunta Gamane Yogamaya Shabdena Parameshwaratu Prayujyamanena Chit Shakti Ruchyate Iti Swami Birapi Vyakyatam Asti. So here we see that the nature of this conscious potency is that it accomplishes otherwise impossible tasks. The third canto in the Jaya Vijay episode, when the four Kumaras visiting Vaikunta was described in 3.15.26, Sridhar Swami also explained that the word Yogamaya means Chit potency when used in relation to the Lord. So, Jata Kautuko Munir Muhur Drishtva Vismito Bhut. So, Jata Kautuko, his curiosity aroused as he gazed repeatedly and he was filled with wonder. Vismito Bhut. So, Kaya Vyuhas Thavat Tadrisheshvapi Bahushu Eva Sambhavati. So the yogic ability to expand the body into various forms is possible. Bahushu Eva Sambhavati is possible for many sages like Narada. But tam vina api madhyama akare api tasmin sarva vyapakatvam apurvamiti tasyapi vismaye hetur nanyata iti spashtameva yatoktam nyeyam. So the Kaya Vyuha expansion is possible for many sages. But the Lord, tam vina api, without recourse to such expansions, without recourse to such Kaya Vyuha expansions, pervades everything in his medium-sized form. Madhyama akare api. And this was something unprecedented, Vismaye. Therefore, this and not anything else was the cause of astonishment even for Narada. So therefore, it's not that some Kaya Vyuha expansions is not the cause of astonishment of Narada. The Prakasha manifestations of Krishna, which are manifest by the Chit Shakti, in which the Krishna's medium-sized form, Madhyama Akara, was simultaneously present everywhere. That is the cause of astonishment. This should be clearly understood from the verse. Anena sarvata pani padam tat iti tadrishyam Srimurtyam eva vyakyatam bhavati. In the Gita, we have the word Sarvata Pani Padam Tat Sarvatokshi Shiro Mukam Sarvata Shrutimal Loki Sarvam Avrati Tishtati. This verse should also be understood to mean that the Lord pervades everything in his personal form. Srimurtyameva Vyakyatam Bhavati. Atayeva न स्थानतोपि परस्य उभयलिंगम सर्वत्र ही इति सूत्रम ब्रह्मसूत्र 3-11 इति सूत्रम तत्ववादिभिरेवं योजितम स्थाना अपेक्षया अपि परमात्मनो न भिन्नं रूपं हि यस्मात् तद्रूपत्वं सर्वत्र एव. So therefore the Brahma Sutra, that 3-11, what is the meaning of the Brahma Sutra? Because the Lord simultaneously exists everywhere, his various forms existing in different places are not different from one another. Because the Lord simultaneously exists everywhere, his various forms existing in different places are not different from one another. Parasya Ubhayalingam Sarvatrahi. This has been explained in the following way by Madhvacharya. Tattvavadibirevam yojitam. Tattvavadibirevam is refers to Madhvacharya's commentary. The innumerable forms of Paramatma are not different despite their existing in different places separately. So you see, Jiva Goswami is quoting Madhvacharya's commentary on the Brahma Sutra to confirm the same point. How Krishna was simultaneously present in different places.
Prabhuji?
Yes.
Just to want to understand, the Lord's present everywhere. So this is a super soul, the Paramatma, right? Then the Paramatma is every soul he is accompanying. He is the same super soul, one super soul, right? But then, what is my question here? Yeah, and where? Anyway, I lost my question, Prabhu. I'll get it later. Sorry.
Okay. So Madhvacharya in his commentary says that the innumerable forms of Paramatma are not different despite their existing in different places separately. He implies because his forms abound everywhere. The Vedas also confirm this. Sarva bhuteshu eva brahma iti achakshate. In this way, the Lord exists in all beings. Another quotation from Matsya Purana, which also confirms this. Eka eva paro vishnuhu sarvatrapi na samshayah aishwaryat rupamekam cha suryavat bahudheyate. Undoubtedly, there is only one Supreme Lord Vishnu present everywhere. Although existing as one form, by his yogic opulence, he appears as manifold, like the sun viewed as many. So, Jiva Goswami is quoting Bhagavad Gita shloka Sarvata Pani Padam Tat, and then he quotes the Brahma Sutra, and then he quoted the Madhvacharya's commentary on the Brahma Sutra, and then he is quoting the Matsya Purana shloka. So, all these are actually confirming the same point, that how Krishna can be present simultaneously in different places in the same one form. How does he do? By his Chit Shakti, by his Yogamaya Shakti. And then he quotes one more shloka from the first canto, 9th chapter. When Bhishma Dev was lying in the deathbed, when Lord Krishna comes there, along with the Pandavas. 1.9.42. Pratidrisham iva naikadarkamekam samadhigatosmi viduta beda mohaha iti bhagavatocha iti. Srimad Bhagavatam also confirms this. being free from delusion of duality, Viduta Beda Mohaha, I have come to understand that Krishna, who is situated before me, is one. Although unborn, he appears in the hearts of all the embodied beings who have been manifested by him, just as the sun, though a single orbit, appears differently to everyone who looks upon it. So Bhishmadev also directly perceived how he perceived Krishna in front of him, and he also perceived the same Krishna is there as a Paramatma in all living entities. So Bhishmadev also gives the same analogy which is mentioned in the Matsya Purana. Just like sun is one, but the sun appears differently to everyone who looks upon it. Similarly, Krishna is one, but he manifests as Paramatma in everyone's heart. He appears differently to everyone. So then he quotes another Brahma Sutra.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Yeah.
I'll just complete
Prabhuji,
this and
please.
last sentence. Evam na bedaditi chen na pratyekam atad vachanat. Brahma Sutra 3-12. Iti etasya api cha evamekam. Iti etasya cha sutrasya vyakhyanam tad bhashye drishyam. Sri Shukaha. One should similarly consult the Tattvavadi explanation given to the following two sutras. That is 3.2.11 and 3.2.12 in the Brahma Sutra. Tattvavadi means Madhvacharya's explanation. Madhvacharya's philosophy is called a Tattvavada. So 3.2.12 is that if it is objected that these forms cannot be one because of being different, we reply no. Because of the counter statements found in the scriptures. Also, some teach in this way. So, in this way, Jiva Goswami is confirming how Krishna is present simultaneously in different places at the same time through his Prakasha manifestation by quoting from the Bhagavad Gita, Bhishma Dev's words in the Bhagavatam, from the Brahma Sutra statement, and the commentary of Madhvacharya in the Brahma Sutra, and from the Matsya Purana Shloka. So, you have any questions you ask, and then I'll go through the.
Yeah, Prabhuji, my question was Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan, all are same. Then, as per our desire, we attain the goal by worshipping either Paramatma, Brahman, or Bhagavan. But why the goal should be different if the Bhagavan is same in all the three Prakasha?
Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan, there are manifestations of the same absolute truth, three different aspects of the absolute truth. But in the Brahman feature, only the Sat aspect is there. Paramatma, Sat and Chit aspect are there. Bhagavan, there is Satchit and Ananda aspect are there. The Bhagavan has various manifestations in that the degrees of Ananda will vary. So Brahman, Paramatma.
What
Yes.
Bhishma Dev has saw Paramatma everywhere, and he has seen Bhagavan in the Paramatma feature everywhere. So, as per the my understanding is that God present everywhere, right? So there is no difference in that. So how could Bhishma see Paramatma also equal to Bhagavan level, or is it? I'm
Paramatma is
slightly
the Amsha
confused.
of Bhagavan. Paramatma is the Amsha of Bhagavan. So he could see that the same Krishna who is in front of him, he could realize that same Krishna is there in his Paramatma feature in everyone's heart. In that way, Bhishma
But
could also perceive that how Krishna is present simultaneously in different places at the same time.
so it has
Others are Paramatma aspect. Paramatma is nothing but It's the same absolute truth only, but absolute truth manifests Sat and Chit aspects.
So
We
it
say
does fall
Advaya
into
Jnana. Na? Advaya Jnana means the non-dual absolute truth. Non-dual absolute truth manifests in three ways: Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. So Bhishmadev perceived the Bhagavan in front of him, and also the how he is present as the Paramatma in everyone in his heart. The focus is here that the simultaneous manifestation at different places. 1 minute. Finger.
So this Paramatma, what feature, what Bhishmadev saw also Swayam Prakash only, right?
No, Prakasha is, technically speaking, Prakasha is, all the Prakasha forms are identical with the Swayam Rupa. So
Swayam Rupa, okay.
Paramatma is not identical with the Swayam Rupa. Paramatma is not identical with the Swayam Rupa. But here the stress is given to how simultaneously Krishna is present everywhere. In the Narada Muni, what he saw was that same Swayam Rupa forms, Prakasha manifestation, all the 16,108 forms are the Swayam Rupa, they are identical to the Swayam Rupa forms. But here, what Bhishma Dev is saying is that the Bhagavan in front of Krishna is a same Krishna is present as the Paramatma in other all very living entities are. Paramatma is not the Swayam Rupa. Paramatma will come into the category of Tadekatma Rupa.
And the Madhvacharya explanation on the same thing, he doesn't want to say that the Bhagavan is differentiated from Paramatma. Am I understood rightly?
No. Madhvacharya is just saying that he is confirming that although Madhvacharya is confirming that the innumerable forms of Paramatma are not different. They are not different, despite their existing in different places separately. Usually something is present in different places simultaneously. That means they will be different from each other. Madhvacharya is confirming how the Paramatma is one only, but the Paramatma is present in different places simultaneously. So Madhvacharya is confirming that. So Narada Muni is talking about how the Swayam Rupa form is, he saw that Swayam Rupa forms are simultaneously present in all the palaces. Here Madhvacharya's point is that how the Paramatma is one, but is simultaneously present at different places simultaneously. That's what Madhvacharya is confirming.
Got it, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
So let's quickly go through the commentary. So in this section, Jiva Goswami continues to explain the Narada Muni's experience of observing Krishna's family life in Dwaraka. And in one place, Krishna was playing dice with Uddhava, another place he was performing a sacrifice, another place he was eating or instructing his sons, like that. So Shukdev Goswami summarizes Narada's experience in 2 verses. That is those 2 verses are the basis of this anuccheda. So 10.69.41, the words Eka and Santa are very significant. Ityacharantam saddharman pavanan grahamedina tameva sarvageheshu santam ekam, santam and eka. So eka implies that although Narada saw the Lord in numerous palaces performing different activities, he understood him to be the one and the same person. So maybe one may think that Narada traveled from one place to another, and the Lord also arranged to quickly reach that palace before Narada reached. One may think like that. Narada saw in one palace and then he went to another palace. Before Narada could reach another palace, so Krishna also reached that palace. One may think like that. But this doubt is dispelled by the word Santa. Santa means while existing. Ekam Santam Ekam, which means Narada understood that one Krishna was existing in all the houses simultaneously. One Krishna was existing in all the houses simultaneously. And the word Eva indicates it was Sri Krishna, not any of his plenary expansions. Tam Eva Sarva Geheshu. Tam Eva, that means the same Swayam Rupa forms were present in all the places simultaneously. Not some Tadekatma Rupa. So therefore, they were all Prakasha manifestation as described in the previous section. And furthermore, those forms were not like the Kaya Vyuha forms, like the one manifested by the yogis. And the Kaya Vyuha forms are merely different bodies of the same person. And Kaya Vyuha forms do not have the power to act independently of each other. But in the case of Krishna, there is no difference between Krishna and his body. So he and his body are one. He and his body are one actually. And this is the case with each form he reveals. So therefore all the 16,000 forms are one. So Narada Muni would not have got astonished if he had seen the Kaya Vyuha forms. And this we already described. And then the word Yogamaya refers to Krishna manifested these forms by his Yogamaya. That is what is made clear in the 42nd verse. Krishnasya Anantaviryasya Yogamaya Mahodayam. So Yogamaya is called as the Agatana Gatana Patiyasi, that which can accomplish acts impossible for the material energy. So different energies function in accordance with the different laws. So heat energy, electric energy, light energy, so many energies, they are governed by different sets of laws. So all these energies act within the realm of the material energy. So similarly, we can expect the internal energy to behave differently from the material energy. Internal energy is governed by a different set of self-regulating principles. Krishna also mentions this. Sarvata Pani Padamta Sarvatokshi Shiromukam. So in this verse also, Krishna explains that he exists everywhere in his personal form through his Prakasha manifestation. So this 13.13, Bhagavad Gita 13.13, this verse, Sarvata Pani Padamta Sarvatokshi Shiromukam. This is also confirmation how this verse can also be understood in this way, how Krishna is simultaneously present in different places through his Prakasha manifestations. So, so when we say Sarvata Pani Padam Tat, Sarvatokshi Shiromukam, so it implies that his whole body pervades everything, not just his hands. Like sometimes one may interpret this verse, Sarvata Pani Padam Tat, one may think that this means that this verse means that Krishna pervades merely as a impersonal Brahman. Through his impersonal Brahman, he pervades everywhere. Or one may think that Sarvata Pani Padam Tat, this verse means that Krishna or one may think that this verse means Krishna pervades everywhere through his expansions in the form of the living entities who are present everywhere. Because the living entities are present everywhere, through the living entities, Krishna is present everywhere. Or through the impersonal Brahman feature, Krishna is present everywhere. So one may think that the meaning of the shloka is only this much. Yeah, this is true. Krishna, through his living entity, which are also his expansion, he is present everywhere. And through the impersonal creature, he is present everywhere. But only not that. Krishna, through his Prakasha manifestations also, he can be present everywhere. So the precise understanding of the shloka, Sarvata Pani Padam Tat, is that he pervades everything in a single personal form. Swayam Avritya Tishtati. That he is one, although existing everywhere in many forms. In order to confirm this point, Jiva Goswami quotes the sutras from Brahma Sutra, Vedanta Sutra, and also the commentary from Madhvacharya. So according to the logic, so objects in different places are different from each other. Sthana Bedena Sthanino Api Bedat. When the objects are present in different places, they will be different from each other. So if this logic holds true, even in regards to the Bhagavan, then he should be different when appearing in different locations. But Veda Vyasa responds to this point by the next sutra, by which he rejects this. The Lord is one everywhere. Although he is present everywhere, but he is one only. And Madhvacharya supports this conclusion with quotations from Matsya Purana and also from the Srimad Bhagavatam 1.9.42. So the example given is the sun. Sun actually, although it is perceived in different places, one sun appears different to the people living in different parts of the globe. Some people see it as a rising sun, some people as a setting sun, some people as a noonday sun. But still the sun is one only. So, in the case of the Lord, Krishna factually exists at all places, although remaining one. So, the example of the sun is that the sun appears, sun is perceived differently by different people, but there is only one sun is present. But in the case of Krishna, Krishna factually exists at all places through his Prakasha manifestations. Like 16,108 forms were present in 16,108 palaces simultaneously. But still he is remaining one only. He is one only. And this is inconceivable to the mundane mind. In the case of the sun, because you see, the sun is actually sun is so huge, and the sun is so huge. There is only one sun, but people perceive differently in different palaces. But in the case of Krishna's 16,108 forms, there are actually 16,108 forms, but still he is one only. This is something beyond our mundane logic. So Madhvacharya also quotes from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad that the Lord appears everywhere by his own internal potency and yet is one. So Madhvacharya concludes with the following verse: Nasthana Vedatopyasya Veda Kaschit Pareshitah Sarvatra Shesha Doshojya Purna Kalyana Chidgunaha. The Lord, who is the supreme controller, is not different, although existing in different places simultaneously. Everywhere he is completely free from the defects and possesses all transcendentally auspicious qualities. And Baldev Vidyabhushan, following in the footsteps of Madhvacharya, he quotes Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Indro Mayavi Pururupa Iyate. He writes that the word Indra means the Supreme Lord and Maya refers to the internal potency, which has three divisions, Sladini, Sandini and Samvit. So these are Bhagavan's eternal potencies. So Indra or the Lord is one, but although having many forms. So this is the 43rd Anuccheda. And the 44th Anuccheda, we will see. 44th Anuccheda, same, the Bhishma Dev's verse 1.9.42 is elaborated more. We will see that in the next class.
Prabhuji, this that reference of that Indra, which sloka of Bhagavatam Prabhu on that?
No, this is quoted. This is from the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad.
Okay.
Indro Mayabihi Pururupa Yate. Baldev Vidyabhushan quotes this Brihadaranyaka Upanishad shloka. And then he says that Indra means the Supreme Lord. Maya refers to the internal potency. Indro Mayabihi Pururupa Yate. That means the Supreme Lord, through the different divisions of internal potency, Hladini, Sandhini, and Samvit, he is present in different places. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu. Very nice class, Prabhu.
So this is the because this is something should be a cause of astonishment. As I mentioned, we get astonished by different things in our life. Sometimes, suppose a person goes to Disneyland, that will be a cause of astonishment. Somebody to watch a 3D film, that may be a cause of astonishment. Somebody going to some Niagara Falls could be astonishment. People, in order to get astonished, in order to get thrilled, they want to either go to different places or they want to see some thriller movies or they want to go to some new places to get thrilled and to get astonished. Because that is also Vismaya Rasa. Vismaya Rasa is one of the type of Bhakti Rasa. So people, in order to get astonished, they look for different things. Everyone is looking for Rasa. Everyone is looking for that Rasa, but people look to release that Rasa in a different objects of this world and in different relationships of this world. So one may get astonished by going to Disneyland, but first time. But when you go second time, the experience of that Vismaya Rasa will reduce. As time progresses, when you go third time, fourth time, it will go on reducing. When a person watches some thriller movie first time, one may experience some Bhayanaka Rasa or Vismaya Rasa. But when you watch for the second time, you know the storyline, you know what is the suspense in it. So the content of the amount of Bhayanaka Rasa, Vismaya Rasa reduces. So here, Narada Muni to get astonished. The closest for Narada Muni to get astonished, he cannot get astonished by seeing some Kaya Vyuha forms of the yogis. We may get astonished by seeing the Kaya Vyuha forms. And the people may get astonished by double action movies, triple action movies. That is basically because people want to get astonished. Therefore, the movie directors, they understand the psychology of the people and then they try to say give some double action, triple action movies or quadruple action, sometimes 9 roles also like that. But they only give some mundane rasa, which is temporary. But Narada Muni got astonished by seeing the 16,108 Prakasha manifestations of Krishna. So, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. We had come across this Vishmaya Rasa, same quote in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu class also.
Yes, yes.
That secondary Vishwa.
The Bhagavad Gita, 11th chapter, Krishna first showed the universal form. And then after showing the universal form, the same universal form manifested the Kala Rupa form. Kala Rupa form is a very ferocious form. When Arjuna saw the universal form, Arjuna experienced Vismaya Rasa. And the same form changed into the Kala Rupa form. By the Kalarupa form, Krishna showed how he is a destroyer, how everyone is being devoured by the Kalarupa. When Arjuna shared that Kalarupa form, Arjuna experienced Bhayanaka Rasa. He became fearful. So then, so in that way, the forms of Lord. So here Narada Muni, by seeing the Prakasha manifestations, he experienced Vismaya Rasa. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Bol. Thank you very much.